Okay, everyone. This will be how to set up a bank in Kismet for your sound in America's Army editor. Of course, where we're at here is we need to, the best way to do things is to start it with the simple version. It's mission editor. It'll ask you a couple questions. Do you want it to be a flow map? Do you want it to be BDX? Do you want it to be small, medium, huge, large? A few different options. Um, and you'll want to set that up in there. Once you do that, you can go in and you can mess around with what there is. There's things around the edges outside of the volume of the map that you can bring in. They like put stuff out there for you. You can learn how to move things around and different things. I will probably make a video at that at some point. Sometimes these editors are really, I don't know, watch where things go and what happens because it creates issues. So right now I seem to be having some form of an issue with the other one, but I'm just fine with the advanced editor. So go figure, America's Army, tax dollars at work. Again, here we go. Let me explain this to you. I'm going to close this. This is a Build-A-Brush reverb. This is probably a reverb volume I made earlier. Here's a Build-A-Brush. You can get rid of that Build-A-Brush. You could change that Build-A-Brush. I have it highlighted right now. If I want to click on Cube, I click on Cube and now it becomes a 256 by 256 by 256 cube. There is some things here. If I want to right click on the cube after I brought it up, it'll tell you the X, the Y, and the Z axis. If I wanted that to be to make a room, let's say, I could click on hollow, and if you get close enough to it, you can see that it has oh boy, it has some properties. If you look, you'll see another rectangle inside of that rectangle. I hope you can see it. I'm not sure how good my screen resolution is. As you can see, it's cube. Now it's basically a room. It's got a hollow core. You shut it off, it goes away. Just a little touch and base on that. That's not what I'm about on this one. Again, so here we go. Let's I need to set up this I've already set up a reverb volume, and now I want to go into Kismet and load this up. I could have done this before. It's just up how you want to do it. So up here's a little green K. There's other options up here. This is search. This will search any actor. Everything's called an actor. These AA insert starts is where your player starts. If you go, I generally have this under world. I'm not sure why, but that's just how your perspective will be. If you go next to that, that's your content browser. If you click on that, it will open up down here, and then you pop up in this you've probably seen before. Go here. I've already fully loaded it. That was another option. Like I said, when you start to do a map, you always want to do fully load. Then when you'll have all the items you want. There is other things like if I just jump to static meshes. These are all static meshes. They're made with some type of 3D programmer like Blender or Maya, something like that. Way above my pay grade. These are just the items that they give you. I mean, it honestly is. I've had people say, the guys just make pizzas. Well, it's kind of like making a pizza. You put items around. Don't let anybody shortchange you. Not everybody can do this. It may not make you rich or anything like that, but it is enjoyable. So let's get to where we're going here. This here is always put in by the mission editor. It's a wind direction. This is an envelope height fog. exponential height fog, whatever you want to call it. It's kind of like the wind direction thing and stuff. Some different type items. Like I say, these are things that you're probably going to learn a lot on your own. Let's go up to Kismet. Kismet is a very, very strong, almost like it's basically a programming tool. Very, very remarkably easy though in some ways. Okay, it says open Unreal Kismet. I click on that, and this is Kismet in full screen. What you have here, you can zoom in, you can move stuff around. You hold your right mouse button down, move stuff around. Of course, wheel your mouse, whatever option you want. As you'll see right here, this is what starts your whole game. It's level loaded. It should be set on client side. Maximum trigger count. 1 means 1. 0 means infinity. It was on 1 when I made this mission map. I haven't changed it. So I really don't have a need to. This is probably a process that really only needs to go one time. It loads up the sound. Could be a few other things, but it does it. This loaded invisible installs all the sound banks. What you have here is a bank. This bank here, it's an AK sound. That's the sounds that we pretty much use, unless you bring in your own wave sounds. And there is some wave sounds too. The AK is set up by the devs. It takes into consideration a lot of issues with sound and how they work and all that, fading off, fading in. So that's what has been done, and that's why it's like an event or a queue almost, but this is the bank. So okay, so here's what you got, and that's what's in this. This was already preloaded. It preloaded this one. It's just some form of. It is what contains the sounds for this FX feature. This here is a reverb media, which they didn't load is the general ambient reverb bank for the sounds that we installed earlier. So here's how you do this. You go up here and just click anywhere. Right click, new action, AK sound, and you want an AK load bank. Okay, there you go. There's an AK load bank. And I'll click on it. As you see, it's empty. So here's what I've been doing for my own way of keeping track of things. If you click on this, you'll see that it says objective comment. These comments are basically for you in here to organize things. I just copy the name of the bank, throw it in there. Sometimes when I get these very long ones, I probably ought to shorten it up. For the sake of this video, it doesn't really matter. It's up to you. It's what you want to do, as long as it's loaded and correct. Okay, so I click on this bank. As you see, now it's back to nothing. If you want to move these around, you highlight it. If you try to just move it around, everything moves together. Hold down Control. Control is very important in a lot, and so is Alt in this program. You can just grab it, drag it around, do whatever you want with it. It can be as sloppy as you want. Nobody's going to see it. Some guys go and look at the map level, but the mechanics of it. Okay, so here's what I want to load. I want to load the AKBank. Okay, so I'm going to go into my browser. Browser is very important. Here's all that stuff. Actually, I know what I want to load. There's a couple ways to do this. I could just go AKBank. Okay, and as you see, they all say AKBank. There are all kinds of sounds for maps, AA maps, pre-done, a lot of pre-done stuff. I mean, everything from a takedown to firing of an M4. There's all kinds of different banks. Okay, I know already what I want, So this, I'm just going to take that out of there. I'm going to go over here and under General Ambient, I know I'm using these sounds in my map. It's the wind sound, the tree sound, whatever. If you look here, here's the stereo ambience. Here's the starts and the stops. So I go to General Ambient, or I'm sorry, Reverb Media Bank. Click on that. Okay, that's already been loaded. So let's look for the bank for this one. I see events, and then sometimes the bank will just pop up somewhere. There's a bank right there. Okay, as you see, it says UMM General Ambient Stereo Ambience. Go figure. Just click on that. Now I have that highlighted. Anytime this yellow box is around something, it's highlighted in your content browser. So I click on the minimize. I'm going to go back to Kismet, which actually Kismet's open. It's down here. I never closed it. So I'm back in Kismet. Here's the bank that I want to use. Okay, so I go down here where it says bank, highlight it. I have it highlighted. I go over to where it says use selected object, a content browser. There you go. The bank's in here. What I do, like I said, it's totally up to you. I just put the name down there. Now when I click up here, as you see, there's the name. Definitely we'll probably want to shorten all these. Don't need all this garbage. It's a bank. But at least if you look at something, you go, hey, I want to use a sound. Do I have the bank loaded? You could just look in here. And, if I don't have it loaded, I have to load it. Okay, so got this. We're daisy chaining everything together here. These banks are loaded because they're going to be used in the map. If you're going to use the sound, AK sound, you got to have an AKBank loaded that corresponds to it. So what I'm going to do is, as you see, we come out of here, we go into load, we come out of finished, we go into load in the next one, and we're going to do the same thing. Okay. So now I just logged in on startup. My level is going to be loaded and visible, and it's going to load these sound banks. It's going to do nothing but load them. That's it. It's not going to load any sound that you need, but the bank is going to be loaded, which has those sounds you need, but they're not in your map. They're just in the system. Another thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to right click, new action, AK audio, and you're going to want to go to AK start ambient sound. Okay, now I have a bank. Now, I'm sorry, I have an ambient start. Here's the bank. I come out of here and I go start all. There you go. You now have your bank loaded. All your banks will be loaded, and they're going to all start. So it's ready to play whatever sound you want. You will be able to take sounds off of this if you want, or you can just drop some sounds in your map and they're going to work. Okay. Okay. I'm going to close this down now. Like I said, this is Kismet. You could do the same thing here, so you can remember what is this start ambient. It's, just type in play my sounds. There you go. Not bad. And now let's see if I can go back to here. I probably haven't loaded it. It's not been loaded, so. But let's see if we got some sound. Let's see if we can get this to play. I don't know if you can hear that. You hear a little wind sounds, things going on. That's been loaded, that I loaded earlier in the reverb volume. And that's how you do it. Thanks for watching. I hope it helped somebody. I had a lot of trouble finding good information. There are some good guys out there. Don't I don't want you to misunderstand me, but some guys sometimes forget to say, "Hey, what am I doing here?" They just whip right through it. And it's not always specific to AA. There are some very good ones out there that are specific to AA. We know them well in the community, good guys. If you can watch their stuff, they're a lot more educated than me. But I'm just trying to give you a few of the basics, maybe make you comfortable with that. Okay, thanks for listening to the video.